Hello all, welcome back to Dipforia. This is where I dip for fun. I'm excited about tonight's video. I am going to be using a new product. It's Beetles Gel Polish Dip Powder Manhattan Dips, and I will leave the link to Amazon.com where I purchased it. I purchased it based on the colors. I thought they were beautiful, as well as the cost of the kit was $39.99. And they were offering me a coupon. So I grabbed that. So in this kit, it came beautifully packaged in a really nice box, a Beetles box. And in the kit, it has 20 colors, as well as the 4 bottles of liquids that we will be using. And I'll show you those momentarily. I chose 2 colors tonight. One is a greenish color, and the other one is a brownish color. Now, with Beetles, they only have color code numbers. They don't have names for their colors. So I cannot tell you the color names. I have all of my supplies ready that I'm going to need. My brush, as well as the brush that came with the Beetles kit. I have my orange wood stick, and I have my Beetles direction for application, and I am going to apply it the way they tell you to apply it. I have my Mia Secret, which was recommended for clear acrylic powder, which I will cap on top of my colors, as well as my spoon for my clear, and my well. All right, so stay tuned, coming right back, and we're going to start this dip. Okay, so let's get started. Here's my number 1, my base. And what I like about the Beetles system so far, just by looking at it, even though I haven't used it yet, is that the top is different than the base. I don't like the ones that have the base and the top in the same bottle. So this should be interesting to see how this works. I have my 2 colors, and I'm going to put them in the description box for you. It's Z338 and Z336. And you can see on the top, the little label kind of demonstrates the color. All right, so let's get started and open up our colors and our base, and away we go. Okay, so here is the brown Z338, and you can see it's a little bit darker in reality than it is on the camera, but it really is a very pretty, kind of like reminds me of cocoa, like a cocoa brown. All right. Now, some people you can use an orange wood stick if you'd like to mix it up, but I just kind of rotate it around in my hands. All right, let's get started. Let's try number 1, Beetles base. Oh, I can tell you right now, really like this brush. It is quite large. And the last dipping system I used, the brush was really tiny, and it really didn't cover the nail surface very well, and I didn't really like that. It was really a struggle to get that base onto my nail. As always, I hold my fingernail into my powder for at least 10 seconds. I want to make sure that depending on which base you're using from which product will depend on its drying time. So I really want to make sure that I get full coverage on that. Look at the nail. Looks like I did a pretty good job. Didn't hit too much of that cuticle area. Look at that color. That's only 1 dip. I don't know. Again, reality is very different. But boy, is that a beautiful color on my nail. I'm just going to brush away some of it around here on the sides and underneath. I'm going to hold off before brushing the top because I really want to let that sit on my nail for a couple of seconds. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dip some of my other nails, and stay tuned. Okay, so here's my first dip on 3 of my nails because I'm going to do the others with the green color. And I can tell you right away that the #1 base does not have an offensive smell, which is really nice. And the powder is very fine, which makes it really apply quite nicely. Now, I don't know how it's going to be for translucency until I get the rest of the dips on, but this is what we've got so far. And so far, I'm really liking this Beetles system. So stay tuned and let's get some more dipping done. All right, so this is now what my second dip into the product looks like. Seems to be a pretty nice color. Get the extra dust off. Although that brush looks like it might have gotten wet. So far, so good. I would say that it still seems to be a little wet. So I'm going to let that dry just a little bit more before I do my third dip with the brown, because I want to make sure that that color really adheres to my nails. But so far, so good. I have my little pad here for cleaning off my brush in between dips. It's really important that when you're using a darker color, especially, the brush tip will get some of the product on it, and you want to make sure you wipe it off before you stick it back into your base bottle, because it has a tendency of making those liquids hard. All right, so let's go in now for the third dip on our brown color. Okay, so here's my third dip on this color. The only thing I would say is that it takes a little bit longer than some of the other dip liquids that I have tried to dry. So I'm kind of really waiting to brush off that extra powder until a couple of minutes, because I want to make sure that everything is nice and dry. So now we're going to go in with the Z36, which is kind of a green color. And we're going to do the other two fingers. If I can open up this little jar. You can see it has a really nice seal protectant on it. Not hard to pop off. Look at that color. It's an amazing color. All right, let's give the green a try. And again, I have to say, really like Beetles dip brush. It's wide, less strokes that you have to take, and I kind of like that. All right, let's see what this color's like. Very exciting. Again, I try to hold it in my powder for at least 10 seconds because I want to make sure that I get full coverage on it. And then I'm going to take my little orange wood stick that I have now lost to make sure I don't have anything around the sides. Oh, there she is. And I'm just going to wrap around the sides there to get anything extra off and do my best not to hit the nail, which is not always so easy. Okay, so that's one finger. Let's do the other. Look at that, green is amazing. Let's do the next finger. And I'm going to do each finger with 3 dips. So I've done 3 of the brown, and I'm going to do 3 of the green. Again, hold it in there for at least 10 seconds. And tap off that extra. And take a look and see if there's anything around that cuticle area that I need to kind of get with my orange wood stick. Okay. You know, it's interesting because you can't really see how beautiful this green is in the camera, but it is pretty amazing. All right. I'm going to dust off the remainder of the dust on the other. Get all that dust off underneath. Very important step. Still leaving the dust on my greens. And I'm going to come right back after my next step. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and I've done all three dips to all of my nails in the colors that I've chosen. And some of that, I got some goo there in the corner. And the only thing I want to say is that I noticed the base takes a little bit longer to dry. So before you dust off your powder, you want to make sure that the nail is as dry as possible. Now I'm going to encapsulate in some clear. So I have my Mia Secret clear powder here. And I put it in my nice little well so that I don't contaminate the rest of my clear. And the same thing is going to apply again. We're going to take a nice thin layer, even strokes of our base. And like I said, I really love this brush. It covers a lot of area in a very short time. And for me, that's really important because I love doing my nails, but sometimes I want to do them quickly. And if you have a tiny little brush, it takes a whole lot longer. All right. And I'm just going to leave that sit there for just a minute. Oh, that was a little too much. And I'm a brand new dipper, but I have to tell you, I'm really enjoying it. I'm not a nail technician. I really am just a nail enthusiast. I kind of got on the bandwagon after watching a couple of videos, and now I am completely addicted to nail dipping. And here's my thumb. Thumbs are always the hardest. And again, you want to stay away from your cuticles as much as possible and your sidewalls when you're applying this base. Just okay. And I'm going to do it now to the green because they seem to look like they're starting to dry. This one still looks a little bit wet. This one's drying. So we'll do it to this one here. And again, it's really just to protect your color. It works really well, the clear, when you are using sparkles, because sparkles will file off, most certainly and most definitely. Okay, and I'm just going to wait a little bit longer till this other green dries. Okay, you can see I have my clear. Now I'm going to take my nice little brush, and I am going to brush away all of this powder. It's really important before you put the activator on to make sure that you have the majority of this powder taken off, because it will contaminate the activator. I have seen people use some other methods. I have not always used them, so I cannot say or attest to those. I just do my best. I nicked my nail right there. I just do my best to get it all off as much as possible. Got a lot of sparkles going on from a previous dip. But that's okay, because I don't mind sparkles. All right, so now we're going to try number 2, which is the Beetles activator. And let's see how it works. I've seen other activators, so I'm curious to see if this works in the same fashion. Again, the same pre-tense applies. You want to apply it onto your nail on a nice, thin, even coat. Kind of ran out there. There we go. And I always allow 2, and I have found also 2 to 5 minutes drying time for the activator, and then I apply another coat. Kind of having a hard time getting in that corner. And I also want to make sure I wipe this off just in case there's additional powder. I love the way the activator looks when it goes across your fingernail. It's almost like success. I've gotten the dip on. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to let that dry. Like I said, I usually wait about 2 to 5 minutes, and then I apply another coat. And then after we're done with that, we're going to be applying the number 3, the top coat. And what's really important too is after you're done with your number 1 base, you want to use these brush cleaners. They come in the kits for a reason, primarily because you have to switch these out. The brush that you've used should be cleaned between each usage. I didn't do it at first, and I did notice that on my first dipping system, that brush got hard a little bit quicker. Even though I always wipe in between dips, you can see my little wipey towel. I really recommend that you follow the directions, manufacturing directions, when it tells you to clean your brushes. That's really important. All right. Stay tuned, come back, and we'll put another coat of activator on. All right, we're ready for our second coat of activator. Now I don't have to wipe my brush again because there's already 1 coat of activator on. So I'm not going to pick up any color when I do this activation here. All right, and we are all set with our activator. We're going to wait another 2 to 5 minutes for this to dry, and then we will be ready to file and use our top coat. All right, so now we're ready to file. Our activator is nice and dry, and tonight I am going to be using a e-file, which I just got. However, I am not experienced in the e-file business. So I'm going to try to do one nail and then I will try to do the other nails and come back and show you if I succeeded or if I failed at this e-file business. All right, so let's turn it on, and I'm going to start it at low because, like I said, do not have much experience with e-filing. But I figured it had to be easier than doing hand filing because that seemed to take forever. And I did not have really good pressure, if you will. My pressure was poor. Like I was stronger in one section of my nail, and then the other section of my nail I was filing off the color. So I did not find hand filing very easy. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to find doing e-filing easy, but you know what? We're going to give this the college try, so they say. And we'll see how we do. So far, oops. So far, seems easy. But again, I think it's definitely a art form that you really have to practice. I can see where this corner. Let's see if I can get in there. Let me try to get around those cuticles. And I'm hoping that this makes everything much faster. Now, in rereading the directions for this dip kit, they tell you that after you're done filing, you should apply another coat of activator. So we are going to follow their directions and do what they say so that we can test this product to its entirety. All right, let's see. Well, that's not too bad. I don't think I did a terrible job. Do a little bit underneath. Not terrible. All right. I'm going to go ahead, finish filing up these nails, come back, put a coat of activator on, and then our top coat for our finished mani. All right. So I now have applied my 2 coats of number 3 top coat after my activator had dry. And I have to say I give this Beetles dipping system a couple of thumbs up. It really worked really, really well. The only thing I will do in the future is make sure that my base and my first dip is dry before I brush off. And then I will do my second dip. I followed the directions, and as you can see, they came out really nice and shiny. The filing came out not so bad. I did go in with my ASP 180 a little bit in my round discus for where I didn't quite get it with the e-file. As always, I'll leave everything down in the description box, and I hope you all follow me on Instagram at Dipforia. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I look forward to my future videos sharing my fun with nail dip. I am a nail enthusiast and really enjoy this nail dipping systems that I have been getting, and I'm looking forward to demonstrating another product in the near future. I wish you all to be well and be safe, and here's to next time.